Hello and welcome to this video on setting up a local development environment for Rails 5 if you are a Mac user, okay? And PC users, please use the cloud-based IDE like Cloud9, which we use in the course, or Code Anywhere, or another favorite IDE that you have that you like using, because it will avoid future trouble with gems and all kinds of unexpected behavior, which we will not be able to troubleshoot, okay? If you use an online IDE, you shouldn't expect those issues. So, back to this development video. For Mac users, you have to remember three things. One is the terminal, which is this one, command line. That is your terminal in your Mac. I'm going to pull it up right now. There you go. Okay, now pwd shows the path that I'm in. You can issue commands here the same way that you issue commands here. Okay, so terminal, first thing. And if you don't have it in your dock already, you can click on your applications and then type in terminal. And there you go, it shows up. You can click on that to pull it up. Okay. All right, the other thing you're going to need is a text editor. We're going to use Atom, okay? And there is another one, which is called Sublime Text, which is very popular. And I used Sublime Text for the longest time till about a couple of days ago. I'm just trying out Atom right now to see. I hear a lot of good things about it, so I want to try it out. And that will have your file tree display as well, all right? The third thing you need to know is the browser to preview. For Cloud9, we run this Rails S -b string IP, etc., code to start the server. Then we preview the application in Cloud9's address, okay? But in your computer, you're simply going to go to localhost 3000, okay? Localhost :3000. Right now, I don't have a server running, so this isn't working. Okay, with all of that having been said, let's get started. First thing, I'm going to click on this Mac symbol over here, then click on About This Mac. Over here, you see version 10.9.5. This is an older version of Mac, but if you are using something that's below this, okay, 10.8 or anything below, please upgrade. This is also a couple of years old at this time, about 3 years old, and I'm lazy, so I haven't upgraded it, but all the instructions I'm going to have going forward will work for your Mac as well. However, if you have an older version than this, please do upgrade, okay? All right. So once that is taken care of, pull up your terminal. First thing we're going to do is upgrade Xcode. Actually, we're not going to upgrade. We're going to get command line tools. So type in xcode -select space --install. Okay, requires the command line developer tools. Would you like to install the tools now? Install. Okay, go through this. Agree. Finding software. If it takes a while, I'm simply going to pause the video and return. But it shouldn't take that long. Okay, I'm going to pause this video and I'll return in a minute. Okay, the software was installed. Great. I'm going to click on Done. All right. Now, the next thing is we need to get Homebrew. Okay, you might already have Homebrew. That's great. If you don't, I'm going to get it. If you already have it and if you use this command I'm going to use right now, then you are not going to get in any trouble. So don't worry. Pull up a new browser window and type in brew.sh. Okay. And right here is the command. I'm going to highlight this, Command C, go back to my terminal right here, and then Command V. There you go. Press return to continue. Return. Password. This is the password for your Mac. Okay. There you go, downloading and installing Homebrew. Great. Okay, it's done. Now let me run Brew Doctor. Okay, you have to run this to ensure that Homebrew was installed correctly and everything's okay. Hit enter. Okay, it's saying my Xcode is outdated. Great. Okay, so that's all fine. Now that Homebrew is installed, we need to get a Ruby version manager, and I use RVM. If you don't use RVM, then that's fine. You can also look up RVM. If you just open a new window and go rvm.io, it has all this information about Ruby version manager. Basically, you can use this to switch between different versions of Ruby and a lot of other things that make your life very easy. And it has very good documentation. I simply type in RVM and what I need in Google, and it takes me to the appropriate place. Okay, so back to my command line. Actually, I'll leave this on. Okay, right here. If you don't have RVM, I'll show you the command to get it. Over here, I'm going to paste this. This is the command to get RVM. Okay, now you may be thinking, okay, that's okay. How am I going to remember this? Remember, I asked to Google. So over here, if you scroll down, RVM, and then install, you have all these installation options, okay? If you don't have it, go ahead, use this command, paste it in your terminal, and get RVM. Okay, I hope you managed that. If you already have RVM, then simply upgrade it, which is what I'm going to do. RVM get stable. You'll simply get the latest stable version of RVM. Okay, great. RVM reloaded. Now close your terminal, okay, and then reopen it. All right. So if I type in RVM list, check out all the Ruby versions that I have. Now, if I go to RVM and let's say Ruby, okay, Ruby's installing. RVM list known. Let's see what that does. Okay. Back to my terminal. If I type in RVM list known, gives me a whole bunch of things that I don't really care about, except this one right here. Ruby 2.4.0. That's the latest one. And if you saw, my Ruby is Ruby 2.3.3. Again, so RVM list, you see I have Ruby 2.3.3, which is good enough to make our course work. And you see this equals and star. So equal star means current and default. If you want to change your default to another version, feel free to do that. You can just look at RVM's documentation. I'm simply going to continue using 2.3.3. Now, to see which version is my default, Ruby space -v. That's the version that I'm using, 2.3.3. Okay. Now, gem space -v, 2.5.2. Okay. Let's update gem. Gem update space -- system. Okay, now we can check for outdated gems. So gem outdated. Okay, and then if we do gem update, then it will update the outdated gems. Okay, now let's install bundler. I already have it installed, but you need to do this. So I'm going to do it with you. Gem space install space bundler. And then gem space install space nokogiri. Now you can do this. You can actually install Rails, gem install Rails, and go forward with that. But what we're going to do is we're going to create a gem set. So RVM use Ruby -2.3.3, which is our Ruby version, at Rails 5.0 space -- create. Okay, so that just creates a gem set, and then gem install Rails. Okay, this will grab the latest stable version of Rails, which in our case should be 5.0.1. There you go. Now in Cloud9, I use 5.0.0.1, which is fine also. So Rails is now installed. In your case, it might have taken a little bit longer. Now let's create a Rails application, okay? So I'm going to do it slightly differently here than I normally do. I could simply do this, Rails new name of app, whatever I want to call it. But I want to show you, and this is preferred way in a lot of online documentation, of basically creating a gem set and then creating a Rails application within the directory, all right? So mkdir for make directory and name of application. I'm going to say my recipes. Okay, mkdir my recipes. Now cd my recipes to move into that directory. There you go, my recipes. Now rvm use ruby dash, this is our gem set 2.3.3 at my recipes, which is the name of app, space dash dash ruby dash version space dash dash create. Okay, so now my recipes is going to use this gem set that I have. So when I move in and out of this directory, it's not going to mess up whatever gems I have within this application or change anything. So gem install Rails now to install Rails. Okay, so Rails is now installed in this my recipes directory. The gem set is being used. If I type in Rails space dash V, you can see Rails 5.0.1 is being used. Great. Since I'm already in my recipes directory, which is my Rails application, I can simply do this, Rails new space dot, so that it takes this as the Rails application. Okay, there you go. It's all done. Now, if I type in Rails S to start my server, since I'm already in my application, and go here, reload localhost 3000, there you go. Here's my Rails application. It's running. Perfect. The last part you have to do is you need a text editor, okay? We have this application over here, but how are we going to access all the files? Well, we're going to get a text editor. So go to atom.io. You can also go to Sublime Text and grab that. If you already have it, that's great. Download for Mac. Once you download and install, this is what shows up. I'm going to open mine once I start. Here you go. Okay, I'm going to close all of this. Okay, I'll close out a welcome as well. Then file, open. Okay. And then my application was my recipes right there. Okay, so I'm gonna select my recipes and click open. And there you go. There's the file tree. It shows up. And here's my editor. So now if I go to controllers, application controller, there you go. Okay, so now I can use this as my text editor, this as my preview window when my server is running. And this is my terminal. As you can see, this is not easy to do, and there are many steps in the process where you may run into difficulty, okay? It might take you hours, sometimes couple of hours. Installing Ruby maybe, or installing Homebrew, something or the other may go wrong. And that is why I recommend using Cloud9 or a similar cloud-based editor to get started. And once you're comfortable and you have some time to troubleshoot and it's not going to cause you to give up on developing with Rails, then I recommend attempting this. All right, so I hope you found that helpful. I'm gonna shut down my server, and that's all I'm gonna cover in this video. Hope you enjoyed it.